Hi, this is Chris with Destination Art with another quick lesson. Today, this is lesson 3 in the watercolor is the Orange Cat of Art. I'm talking about standing water. So when you have watercolor on your page and you have this big puddle that you just leave there, I'm going to say, because I'm going to relate everything to my orange cat in this series, because why not? It's like an orange cat sleeping in your sink. My orange cat has a tendency to do that a lot. So anyway, sleeping in your sink, it is just trouble waiting to happen. Anyway, so trying to be cute, I hope you like it. Okay, so in this short lesson, I'm going to demonstrate to you what can happen if you leave a puddle unattended on your page. So you'll see here that I'm starting with a very thick puddle of paint and water that I'm gonna leave standing on the page. Now, the weird thing is I went off, I did this video, I did the filming, I went off and I watched another video on, I was like goofing off for a half hour. I came back to take a picture and that puddle is still wet. Which is one of the things about watercolor. Sometimes you just have to wait for it to dry. If you watch Rebel Unicorn Crafts, she's like, let it dry or make it dry. It's pretty funny. Anyway, so the other question I have was, or the other thing I wanted to demonstrate was actually how much water is within your brush. And so when I did my puddles there, which I label them in a minute, which I'll describe those. So as you can see, more water and pigment is leaving my brush, but I still have plenty of water on there. If you'll notice at the very bottom, the technique that I'm using is actually leaving an extra puddle at the bottom. Now it's not very big, but if you'll notice, it is kind of like messing up the look of the watercolor there, so which I was pointing out. And here I'm trying to demonstrate how to fix that. And I'm doing that by showing the technique that I talked about in the last lesson, where you're making sure that the part that you've just put paint down is consistently wet. Once again, this lesson is about standing water. So if you have a consistency along the paper, it will do better than if you have a big puddle. So, okay, so the first one I did a big puddle. The second one was more controlled. The second one was sort of a middle puddle and it's not as controlled. And then, because I'm, trying to be funny. Okay. Don't quit your day job, I suppose, huh? Anyway, okay. So, and then I'm also labeling my attempt to see how much my water, my brush actually holds. So one of the things that I do a lot is touch my brush to a paper towel. Now I have a tendency to touch the ferrule and not the tip because I want the water gone and not the paint. Anyway, the example here is I have more paint. I have some paint, I have more paint, and then I have more water in this, and so you'll see the results there. Okay, so as you can see, it's still wet. And you see how it reacted there? I don't particularly like it. So it's a warning for new beginner watercolorists. Something to look out for is standing puddles. Okay, thank you. I hope you have a great day.